y'all got Spider-Man theories on deck.
Yup.
I'm gonna pour some more to drink.
Hey.
So let's go. Who got it first? Let's go.
Oh, we picking straws in this. Look at the intellectual battle.
I vote for Savi.
Okay, Savi, let's go.
Let's Spider talk.
All right, so
Yeah, tell us what you think gonna happen to you.
I'm gonna help Mel out and be right back.
I want a fresh drink. Go ahead, son. All right, so here's why I think it's going to end up happening. At the end of the movie, I'm jumping to the end of the movie because they're going to have to set it up for 4, 5, 6.
Here we go.
And they're going to have to open the door for everything that they've already announced at Marvel Day or whatever it was called. I feel like, personally, they're going to try to bring in Fantastic Four. They've already opened the door for it in Shang-Chi. They had the Baxter Building, but that's Fantastic Four. X-Men.
Wait, the Baxter Building was in Shang-Chi?
No. That it was in Spider-Man, because remember they bought the Avengers Tower.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
you think the Baxter Building is what was purchased?
Yeah.
Not that it was Oscorp. Interesting.
Because didn't they show Oscorp in the background elsewhere?
Oscorp is a separate building.
Right, and they showed it in the skyline somewhere.
Right.
In the Marvel movie?
In the preview for Far From or No Way Home.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
They showed
this.
Oscorp in there somewhere.
He on to something, but
Okay, let's
we're gonna
go.
talk about it.
But yeah, like I feel like that they're going to bring in X-Men and Fantastic Four in some way, shape,
X-Men
or form.
too?
Did they have
In Spider-Man?
Well, not in Spider-Man, just like setting up.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So okay, let me
Thank
bring
you,
it back.
Queen. Thank you,
To
Queen.
bring it back to Spider-Man, in some way, shape, or form, they're going to hint at Toby and Andrew. Because they're already bringing in Dr. Octavius, they're bringing in Electro. So those versions of Spider-Man had to come in some way, shape, or form. We may not see an on-screen appearance, but remember in Morbius, in the trailer, they showed Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah, on the wall.
Right, he was on the wall.
Oh, y'all didn't caught all the Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, that was huge. That was huge. That was the trailer. That was a huge
The
event.
Morbius trailer is all over the place. It's also
snap.
got Vulture.
Exactly.
Weird.
So it's going to have to interconnect somewhere. It's going to have to bring in those two versions of Spider-Man somewhere, because they're always talking about. Since day one, they talked about the multiverse in Spider-Man, and they elaborated on a little bit more with Mysterio saying that I'm from a different universe, I'm from the multiverse, but then they confirmed that he was, lying about that. Maybe. But now here they're bringing in the multiverse. So either the Sinister Six is going to go back to whatever universe they're in and they're going to die, as they did in their movies, or they're going to find some way to stay there and continue to wreak havoc for 4, 5, 6, or in just future movies somewhere.
Okay.
And plus, I don't think Electro ever died fighting.
You don't think he died in that last one?
No.
Okay.
Because it's electricity. You can't get rid of.
That's what I
electricity.
was confused by too, with the whole Electro
true.
thing. Like
How
Electro
did,
always
how did he die? I forgot.
He
he
did
blew
die.
overloaded.
He overloaded. But like Electro does that in the game and he comes back.
Right.
He does that in the comics and comes
Yeah.
back all the time.
Exactly.
Dissipates and then reincorporates.
Yeah, it's electricity.
So yeah.
And Sandman
Does it go
did. And Sandman didn't die in
Yeah,
Spider-Man
Sandman went
3.
away. He just left.
Yeah, he just left.
The lizard never died either.
Yeah, Lizard never
exactly.
died.
The only ones that died was Goblin and supposedly Dr. Octavius.
Well,
'cause
actually-
Yeah, we
drowned.
didn't see him die.
Right, because he drowned.
He just went down, but we didn't see him like, whoa, cough and drown.
Exactly.
And technically, Norman Osborn didn't die in the comics when he was impaled by by his glider anyway.
He did not. He just got
Yeah,
comatose.
and that's not
and
really
healed
a,
up later.
yeah, we didn't actually know. We don't know. We know that he may have died, but he might have set all that up.
I need to go back and watch the other one.
And on top of that, the hallucinations that Harry was having, alluding to him being around, he wasn't. I don't think. I think they would have kept it going.
So,
That's interesting.
So let's break it because we
Go
can
ahead.
talk about this shit all day. What are your expectations, Moxie?
Well, I'm really excited to see if/how they unveil the multiverse. I'm really interested to see that. Like I said before, I'm interested to see what the after credits sequence will be, because that might be some bigger shit than anything that's in the movie.
So true.
But yeah, I'm interested to see Doctor Strange's like his role in this and like how everything unfolds. So those are kind of like my main. Those are kind of my main things. Those are my main, like, I guess, excitements to see how it goes.
All right. What about you, Dreezy?
So I'm definitely with the whole multiverse thing. I'm gonna break it down to a few levels of it. Number one, we do know that, well, I like what Moxie said about the villains. I don't want them to be one and done. I kind of want them to stick around. Goblin might stick around because Norman Osborn is a very interesting entity. And right now, he's not in this universe featured heavily. So we got to see how that pops up. Then we look at the other characters and how they, pop up and if they're going to die or not. I don't want them to die, but if they stick around somehow for the future sequels, because they did say they wanted Spider-Man to be an integral part of the new phase. A long time ago, when all this started, they said that they was going to have him be a really integral part of this new phase to see how that plays into everything. So pay attention to that. Also, we're looking at the multiverse being created from different perspectives. All right, we already saw one perspective in Loki. We saw another perspective in What If. We saw another tease in Spider-Man Far From Home, which will come a tease of it.
And we saw a tease in WandaVision.
I'll get that too. In WandaVision. We're getting WandaVision, so we're coming around. And now, it's all got to come together because this Spider-Man movie is going to branch out into, like Tavi said, into a whole bunch of other situations, including Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which is going to bring everything together.
Yeah.
Which I do agree that the introduction of all of these new characters and all these new players in the game is going to come around. So it's definitely like a reset because right now they're getting off the Avengers and they're focusing on different aspects of what's going on. Cosmically, magically, and everything else. Now, eventually, the Avengers will come back around, but not in a way we know.
To piggyback off that, that's what these new Marvel series are going to do. Because Ironheart is an Avenger.
Yes.
She was part of the all new, all different Avengers. So like you said, Parker is going to be a very main piece to that. Maybe he's going to be like the new, for lack of a better phrase, a new Tony Stark, since he was like the leader of the Avengers. Like he can bring all these other characters, Kamala Khan, Riri Williams.
They were all part of the new Avengers.
Miss Marvel is coming.
Miss Marvel is coming. Miss Marvel is coming. She-Hulk is coming. There are a lot of new characters that's popping off. Whether or not they're going to be Avengers level heroes or not remains to be seen. But the point of the matter is they're expanding the universe to go beyond the Avengers. Okay, we still got the Guardians. We still got Thor.
Right.
Yeah.
We still got what's going on with Nova coming through. There's a whole lot of people popping up everywhere. So how they going to play
The Eternals.
And we still got Wakanda.
Yeah.
Don't not forget Wakanda. All of these different entities.
Wakanda forever.
Exactly. They're coming around on some levels, and what they're doing, they're branching off their universe so much that, like Coach said before, you have different genres. Pick what you want. It's not complaining. You're gonna have Shang-Chi. You're gonna have Shang-Chi's
West Coast Avengers.
Right. You got Neck of the Woods. You got Hawkeye and whatever he gonna end up doing with Kate. Then you're gonna have the new Captain America. We've got about him out there.
Right.
We got all of this stuff going
East Coast
on,
Avengers.
and it's just a beautiful phase that's going to happen that we're witnessing right now because we're all into it. But the multiverse piece is very powerful because it's going to introduce a lot of new levels of what we know, and especially with the mutants. I think they're building up to the mutants more than anything else. Fantastic Four is definitely going to come because that's a big tease that we're all going to see, and they're going to come out. I can't wait to see their debut. But the mutants, that's what's going to be amazing.
That also plays a part. in the Baxter Building because we know the Fantastic Four. They deal with a lot of cosmic threats.
Yeah.
And we also saw in Far From Home that they already have Sword up in space.
Yeah.
Sword exists.
And did y'all hear that the actors from the New Mutants are going to continue their roles?
Oh, ain't
No, I
that
did not.
something?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Snap.
Pretty cool.
Yep, they're going.
All right. No. We
Let's stay with it. Let me give you my little piece, because it's real quick, because mine is not like y'all's. Mine is only one thing I think is going to happen specifically, and that's Tom Holland is not going to remain in the MCU at the end of this movie.
Oh.
Tom Holland, because if you think about every movie, the title related to him. Homecoming, he was at Homecoming. Far From Home, he was away from America. No Way Home, he's the one that's going to end up outside of the MCU. Trying to figure out, traveling from universe to universe, trying to figure out how to get home.
Oh, shit.
Now, who will
That's
be...
deep.
Who's going to remain in the MCU between the other Spider-Mans is the question. But I don't think Tom Holland is going to be in the first, like his first next movie, it's not going to be home. Not going to be in the MCU. He's going to be out somewhere. And that's going to lead to why Doctor Strange initially starts looking for him and gets caught up in the multiverse of madness.
That brings in
This motherfucker.
Look, that's
dope.
across
Can I say that?
That's across the Spider-Verse right there.
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory right there.
That is interesting indeed.
Uh-oh. I hear this.
No. I'm going last this time.
Oh, no.
you're not
Wait.
I'm going last
Uh-oh.
this time.
Battle of Wits.
well, that's cool because I don't. This is how I roll.
Because
Let's take it second. Think back.
Let's take a second think back.
Marvel introduced a show called Wandavision. This was before any movie, before any series, and they did a bold approach to present this obscure presentation, right? Wanda was a problem. She's not an Avenger anymore. There's not a Captain America or Tony to talk to her or contain her. She's on the low. No one slapped her hand and say, "Hey, Wanda." She took over a whole town and made them believe they're in the 1950s.
Her brother's dead. Her man is dead.
She's more powerful than anyone in this mart. You roll up on her, she going to control you. She manipulate reality at a very extremely rate that she had people crying on the inside. Their souls is screaming, B. Manipulating reality. That's what she does. She's sitting in a cabin with one of the books that you two people described as one of the most powerful, evilest things that a witch could have, doing witch things in a cabin under no restrictions.
That's the dark code, y'all, for those who don't know.
Right.
Exactamundo. All according to the MCU, every Nexus event pop. You get Thanos snapping. You get Sylvie doing her thing. The other event someone mentioned, I forgot.
Yeah.
What do you think Wanda doing?
Messing with reality.
So there's a young boy named Spider-Man that's pumped with fear because his name been pumped in the streets. What do you think she could do with that if she could take care of a town in New Jersey? What do you think she could do to this little boy?
Do to him?
She could alter his reality and make people angry at him, and she could use this for advantage.
What kind of advantage would she have over that? I'm asking to kind of go.
Well, we gotta see in the movie because I think this is Wanda behind all of this.
Whoa, that's your theory.
I think
Dun,
Wanda,
dun, dun.
everybody, since WandaVision, they dropped all these series to make y'all think about different shit. Celestials, Kang, Loki, the new Captain America, Armor Wars, Secret Wars, Star Fox,
Right.
You know, Eternals, Black Blade, Black Knight.
Did Star Fox come from this universe? That shit was weird
Venom
as fuck.
transferring.
Yeah.
All of this movement going on, and you forgetting about this chick, this witch in the
That controls all
cabin
that. That's true.
that's studying the Darkhold. You can
That's
shake
kinda
your head.
deep,
I forget
actually.
nothing, cause you know me. I forget nothing.
It's cool, but I'm talking about cinematic, not the comic book. I think that this is an MCU story, not a Spider-Man story. This MCU took Spider-Man and put him and interject him in the MCU format. And just like you were saying, Dreezy Claus, because they don't have an Avengers, this is still a big MCU event movie. There's more stakes into it. If this was just a Spider-Man movie, it'll have different stakes, and everybody on this panel knows that.
And it's the first big MCU movie we've had since the
Bada
Avengers.
boom, bada bing. Don't disrespect
All the
me
other
with
ones have been
the
series.
negative talk. Don't disrespect me.
I mean, obviously we had COVID, but Spider-Man was going to happen anyway.
So, further moving, they got to carry this story. I think the Sinister Six is just one portion of the movie. I don't think there's no main villain that's going to come out of this except Wanda, because she's the one that started this Nexus event that we're going to see within the Spider-Man thing that's going to carry the trailer. It's going to carry the story. It's happening. It's going to happen. I think it's happening in this movie. I think it's going to be moving like that. Because think about it. All right, so let's get into Osborn. I think some enemies are going to transfer over. Hawkeye mentioned someone bought the Stark's building.
Yeah.
Who bought that building? Only one who could do it is Osborn. And I think some sort of way, so this is just my little predictions. I ain't predicting the whole movie, but I'm thinking this is more of an MCU movie. This is Avengers without the Avengers. They need that money. They need to do this. This is the big whammy right here. So and Marvel duping y'all as well. They're doing a lot of duping. From the marketing, from the ticket sales.
Oh, they fucked us up.
Yeah, they duping y'all. They roping, doping, and milking every udder of this cow because it's business. And I think on the business standpoint, before the fans and comic book theories, really, because I think about what's going to generate the money. And I think this is more of a Wanda problem, because this is going to carry on into the Doctor Strange series and whatever happens with that. So Osborn, I think he's going to stick some odd way, and I think he's going to carry on too. I don't think all the villains is going to be there, but I don't think Electro and Sandman and all of them is going to be.
You don't think they matter?
Yeah, I don't think they matter. I don't think the Sinister Six really matter, except like Doc Ock and maybe Osborn when he appeared. But that's
how
all
I think
got.
Spider-Man's gonna leave. He's gonna push.
I don't know about the Spider-Man and the 3 Spider-Man. I'm kind of leaving that blank because I just want to enjoy the movie on that level. So whatever they do to Spider-Man is cool, but I think it's more of an MCU picture rather than a Spider-Man picture, because that's how it's always been. Spider-Man haven't been the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man since he joined the MCU.
That's a fact.
These are deep. I like these theories.
Let's go, coaches.
This movie is a obvious amalgamation of the MCU Spider-Man, the Happy Birthday story, the One More Day story, the Ultimate Fallout story, the Gauntlet story. Wanda is in no way, shape, or form involved in any of this. The actual real Doctor Strange.
Well, what was the purple energy that was in the Doctor Strange in the second trailer?
Let me finish.
I'll just answer that. Go ahead.
Let me finish. Wanda is in no way, shape, or form involved in anything that's about to happen to Peter. Doctor Strange and Mephisto are involved in what's going to happen to Peter.
Did you say Mephisto?
Stop! Oh, no, not
So
Mephisto.
Did you say
he's
Mephisto?
not dead?
Mephisto never died.
He never lived.
Where has he been? Where Mephisto come
Let's
from?
go ahead. Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, this is
But
MCU,
he's right though. But Mephisto
not
was
the
a
comic book.
But
let's
Mephisto
go.
was a big part of One More Day.
Exactly.
Big part. Big part.
That's true.
Huge
That's
part.
true.
That was
That's
the
true.
wish. That was the wish that he had.
Yeah,
That Doctor Strange is supposed to be doing. Boom. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
exactly.
Continue.
He just helped nail that home. This is a rookie Doctor Strange. This is not in any alternate Doctor Strange. This is a rookie Doctor Strange that is prone to mistakes. They are writing him actually pretty true to character. What we're gonna get out of this overall at the end of it is the casual mention of Miles, whose path is on the way. Holland will fall at some point due to Miles being on hand, but not in this movie because he's obviously signed on for 6 pictures.
I mean, you think Holland is gonna be the one that falls to bring Miles in?
Yeah, Holland falls to give birth to Miles. If the other 2 show up, it's just
So
fan
who's gonna
service
train?
and nice.
Who's gonna train Miles?
Miles didn't have anyone to train him really.
That's 6 years.
Miles didn't have anyone to train him
Every
really.
Marvel, they don't do Spider-Man movies consistently like that. So if they're going to have him for how many more?
I'm not
movies?
saying that
That's a
Miles
long
takes.
time
I'm not saying
before
that
Miles
I'm not
show
saying Miles takes over with the next film. I'm saying Miles
is he
is
showing up?
Miles shows up in this film because if you
really?
know if you know Miles' history, he stood on the sidelines while Peter fought who? Dr. Octopus, Electro, the Sinister Six. He stood on the sidelines and watched him do it. And in the Miles origin story, Peter dies or fakes his death, depending on a Peter dies. I don't think that's going to happen in this rip, but I think the inspiration is there. See, the Brooklyn Academy is there. All the pieces are in place. The table is set for Miles. While, yes, I agree with you, this is a larger MCU movie, but how many Spider-Man stories have bled over and had lasting effects in other people's stories?
How many? Tell me the last 2 movies that have.
I'm saying in the comics.
No, what's the last 2 MCU? See,
I'm talking about. I'm saying
you finish your theory.
Yeah, finish. Let me wrap it up because I know you, man. You always the cinematic. And if it's not on screen, I'm gonna put my finger in your face.
Oh,
you do that. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I'm the book guy, but I'm also the movie guy. I'm just a movie guy from the different side, and I see the elements of the story because I know the story so intimately that when I look at the trailers, when I saw that first trailer and everyone was like, "Oh, maybe that's a fake Doctor Strange." Like, no, that's rookie Doctor Strange because that's what he does. He does shit like that, fucks up and causes people other problems.
Can I ask a question?
So when there was a
the purple energy is just purple energy.
All right, that's cool. But there was a moment where Wong had asked Doctor Strange
not to do
it, and he did a wink.
Yeah,
and he said no.
Yeah.
I referred back to Wandavision when Agatha was winking and when Wanda was winking when they was up to their hijinks, which is actually a TV trope that they took from I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. When they was up to their hijinks, they was winking.
Interesting.
So that's kind of deeper thread. It's not just me. It's cinematic, yes. WandaVision trained me to look at things a little bit differently than the comic book tropes to fall back on as a crutch and a safety net. I'd rather just go into more deep into the cinematography and see what they're presenting and the little tricks.
Yeah, and those same tricks though tell stories to those of us who know the stories intimately because I looked at WandaVision and I could pick out what comics they pulled from.
Good for you.
You know what I'm saying? So I see that they use the comics as the source material. At some point it could definitely happen, but not anytime soon. Not yet. It's too early. It's too early.
So I have a question.
It's too early.
In relation to the amateur Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Why is he still amateur?
Because he is new still. If you think about it in terms of the MCU, he's only been Doctor Strange for about 4, maybe 5 years total.
But considering the rate in which he learns, he reads a book once, he don't need to read it twice.
But he still makes.
He's seen 15 million or whatever.
Yeah, but he didn't see 15 million of this.
How to do that?
He didn't see 15 million of the moment where he is in now. That is still rookie.
Well, we don't know
for that level. Because if you think about, once again, I'm coming from the perspective of someone who has studied and read these books for years. Early Doctor Strange went against everything the Ancient One and Wong told him all the time.
Yeah, that's why he chose him.
If he wanted to test the for him, some of this was experimentation because what was he first? A doctor, based in science. So sometimes Doctor Strange does things because it's like, ooh, I have this and this. Let me see what it does.
All right, but amateur,
WandaVision, when she was controlling that whole town, that was a spell that was against the free will.
Yeah.
That was against the free will.
Yes.
So this spell that Peter is asking is also a spell against free will.
And he botches it up.
Any magic person, that's in spiritual, any magic person that knows all that. You was talking real magic last week.
Yeah.
If you do anything against the free will, simple as a love spell, that's considered dark.
And Doctor Strange crossed the line. He crossed that line in his own books. Doctor Strange is not okay. I don't know where this image of Doctor Strange being wholesome or being a good dude came from, because he's not.
Well, Wanda isn't either,
because he's not.
She's sitting in the couch.
Yeah, but I don't think she has nothing to do with this Spider-Man spell at all.
Okay, so
and real quick, I'm trying to go back to the point of what will be her interest in messing with Spider-Man when all she really wants is her kids.
Event.
No. She wants her kids.
So how you think she gonna get them?
I would be more convinced that that's Baron Mordo.
Well, that's interesting. Hold on. So what you're thinking is that she's working to use Spider-Man because she knew to use Spider-Man to go to Doctor Strange, to manipulate Doctor Strange to do a spell to open this opportunity.
No,
I can see that.
I can't.
What is Doctor Strange going to do? She's in the movie of Doctor Strange 3. You think she just sitting there fiddling her thumbs? It's like, okay.
I'm not saying that she's twiddling her thumbs. I'm just
saying
saying she's not involved in this. She's not involved in this.
WandaVision's supposed to be
I think WandaVision's involvement is,
But she's not involved in
this.
this.
They dropped that show first to make you forget about all that, and then Spider-Man hit and be like,
I'm not.
The screener was only 40 minutes, and that was Spider-Man. We don't know what else entails in that movie.
And I understand your point. I'm just saying
that was the public screener to real public dudes.
And I'm not dismissing.
Only screened 40 minutes of the movie.
I'm not dismissing WandaVision. I'm not dismissing WandaVision.
So to be fair,
I'm not dismissing things in WandaVision, but it's not.
to be the
Two and a half hours. It can't
to be
be
the
all
neutral
Spider-Man.
bridge between the two of you, it is as possible.
Neutral bridge.
It could be. Just because they haven't done it doesn't mean
Hold
they
on.
won't do it.
It is as possible as much for Wanda to be responsible.
Wanda's not in it, man.
Wait, listen.
Wanda's
It's as
not in
possible
it.
for Wanda to be responsible as it is for Mephisto to pop up out of nowhere. And really, Wanda is more connected at this point than Mephisto so far. But both of those theories are on that extreme opposite.
level.
Wanda or Mephisto.
Because
Well,
Mephisto fed off Peter wanting to change his memory.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. See, what he's saying is that
Mephisto fed
So
off
what
that.
they're
He
saying-
wanted
But
that to
this
happen.
is the MCU, and they switched the characters.
Yeah, what
too.
he's saying is possible for Wanda to use that, which is fair.
That's a good
In
trope
either
to use
case,
for
I don't think Wanda is involved in this. I feel that in my
either case,
gut.
Peter, at the end, in either of y'all theories,
Wanda will show up during the
is
credits.
out. Peter's
Wanda
going to
will
have
show
to
up
Yeah, maybe
sacrifice
post-credits.
himself.
So you
Right,
think
right.
he out?
He's not.
I ain't on with
Peter-
Peter who died.
No, that died. So particularly Tom Holland's Peter is going to sacrifice himself to push the people he can back into where they belong. He's gonna make that choice to push through the hole, and he's going to get lost far from home.
Now, if I had to
or no way home.
If I had to call that based on the characters, I would say Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man would make the
Toby
sacrifice.
belongs away, so that's not no way home.
I don't think the other Spider-Mans and the villains really going to last that long, really.
Probably not.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I don't think
Probably
Okay,
not.
so
I agree with you there.
This has nothing to do with Wanda or any of that, but where then from this perspective, where do you all think that Tom Hardy's Venom ties into all of this?
He's going to be in the movie.
In the hotel room, changing channels,
Watching TV.
No,
like,
no,
what's
no,
going
making
on?
pancakes for a symbiote, buying takeout.
Breakfast.
Check it out.
Spider-Man's
Literally,
looking around.
The scene that his Venom is watching on TV when he crosses over into this multiverse is the scene at the end of the last Tom Holland movie. It is literally that news.
Yeah, we
scene.
saw that. Yeah.
He is going. So that means that at the beginning of this movie, which takes place at that same moment,
Yeah.
that means he's happening when whatever Doctor Strange spell takes place.
Right.
So he's there. Now, the thing is just like, if you remember, and I'm just doing this as reference, the old game with Spider-Man, Venom would pop in and fuck with Spider-Man.
I do remember that.
and then
You'd be at that. Yeah, he would dip out on you at the end of the board.
He would just come in and interrupt Spider-Man's day and then be gone. But Spider-Man is focused on Electro, Doc Ock, and the rest of the Sinister Six.
Venom come smack you up a little bit.
See,
Smack,
the
smack, smack.
thing is, they're trying to tie this together, and they want the Tom and Tom to do a movie together. So, I mean,
Tom has to
Tom
go to
and
do that.
Tom.
Tom has to go.
Has to go and do it. So, I mean, they
Tom has to
already
leave.
developed Venom as this anti-hero. So, I don't see him I see him as a buddy thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
think about it. If
he may
Tom-
be the post-credit scene thing. Like all
He
of this
could
may go
be.
down, and Venom just come up like, "Hey, Peter, what's up?" You know what I mean? On some old cool shit.
But he don't like Peter because of the symbiote, that memory of all the
Yeah.
various histories.
History.
So he has the
Variant
memory.
history.
Remember, that's what he said. I have memories of all versions of all multiverses.
did.
So he
He did
doesn't
say
like
that.
Peter automatically because that's the symbiote Venom history.
Oh, well, cool.
Well, there we go.
And that's the thing. He's gonna see Tom. He gonna have beef with Tom. Tom is gonna fight
Tom on
these
Tom.
guys out. He's gonna end up in that
They gonna
Venom's
fight.
universe, and that's gonna be the next Peter movie is Tom Holland with Venom. And then the rest of them, we gonna see which Spider-Man remains in the MCU. I think it's gonna be the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man because he's the one that's gotta die in order for your boy to show up.
That's an interesting call there, Ambi.